The House of Parliament, a true palace where democratic will is set in stone. This is the country where the Magna Carta was created. This British Parliament is also symbolic because the beginning and the shaping of the Mauritius Parliament is based on the British Constitution when Mauritius achieved independence from the British Empire in 1968. This is where it all started for Mauritius over 40 years ago as an independent economic power, and coming in contact with 2015, the island has recently elected a brand new coalition government in December 2014. The leaders are Prime Minister and former President of Republic Sir Anil Jagnat, Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Tourism and External Communications Xavier-Luc Duval, Vice Prime Minister Ivan Kolendavalu and Vice Prime Minister Shaukat Ali Sudan. This is the land that has partly educated our Deputy Prime Minister and Minister for Tourism, Xavier-Luc Duval, leader of the PMSD. The PMSD has a glorious history in the overall contribution of the development of Mauritius. Founded as the PM Parti Mauricien with the emblem the cock on the blue banner by Jules Koenig. Jules Koenig was also the mentor of young advocate Gaëtan Duval, the barrister at law in the old days before independence. Together they pulled 44% of the Mauritian voters. It was called National Party at the time. Parti Mauricien was at its zenith. A difficult and sad moment, however, for the Parti Mauricien was when Jules Koenig, the leader, not being elected before independence. Hence, Gaëtan Duval as a legitimate and charismatic leader of the PMSD, or the PM. Under Sir Gaëtan Duval's leadership, the Parti Mauricien became the PMSD, Parti Mauricien Social Democrat, marking the beginning of the PMSD glorious days and a force for good for a brand new Mauritius. PMSD coalition government with SSR, Cecil Sagar Ramgoolam, laid the cornerstone for free education, tourism, immigration, health, housing and social benefits. Tourism and free zone is the footprint of the PMSD, with Sir Gaëtan Duval as Minister for Tourism and External Affairs, boosting the construction of new hotels and creating jobs at home in manufacturing and textile. The housing sector was also not neglected. Housing estates were provided as CHA Longchill for the underprivileged. Deputy Prime Minister, Minister for Tourism and External Communication, Xavier Duval is the new dynamic leader and promoter to carry the torch and the good work in tourism for this new generation. He has the expertise, the experience, the vision, the commitment, and more importantly, the interest of the country and Mauritian population at heart. He comes in with a wealth of wisdom, experience, portfolios, and proven track records. He entered the politics defying all challenges by getting elected for the first time in 1987 in circumscription number 4, breaking the rule of the games in Port Louis, where it was always the MMM winning all the seats. 1991, he was elected in constituency number 6. His ascension continues, and in 1993 he was appointed the youngest Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Industry in the history of Mauritius. Pursuing his leadership aspirations within the key spheres of the government, in 1999 he led the Ministry of Industry, Commerce and Financial Services. Between 2005 and 2010 he was Minister for Tourism to further the work that PMSD has historically laid the cornerstones for, and attracting increasing record numbers of visitors to the island year upon year. In 2010 he was Minister of Social Integration and Economic Empowerment, giving him an apt window in the mindset and productivity of the Mauritian workforce. Xavier-Luc Duval, a qualified accountant educated in the UK and Belgium, then moves on to lead as Minister of Finance in 2011. Now, in 2015, PMSD is back in the driving seat within the coalition government with Xavier as Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of Tourism and External Communications. The PMSD in the government is sound proof of progress and stability for the country. All major improvements of the country bears the footprint, the seal, the signature, the watermark of the PMSD whilst in government. Proof of the coalition, such as 1969 to 1976, 1976 to 1982, and the PMSD being on the winning side of the last 3 general elections is equal proof of stamina for trustworthy work. Since the independence of Mauritius and the shaping of its cabinet, its constitution, most catalyst developments have been triggered by the PMSD. Free zone, tourism, housing authority, SSR hospital, the MIE, Mauritius Institute of Education, extension of the University of Mauritius, building of the VRAC, municipality of Port Louis, airport, construction, Equal Opportunities Act, innovative policies concerning aquaculture, targeting the fishing industry and the connected SMEs, international film rebate scheme, tourism authority, tourism employers trust fund. Mauritius, being located off the coast of Africa, once the key and star of the Indian Ocean, supporting the British Empire to rule the waves, the island can now be what Hong Kong was to China, what Singapore was to Asia, and ride the waves independently. Tourism being the engine and the driving force for prosperous future under the leadership of Xavier Luc Duval and his ministry. Starting as a very poor country at the mercy of cyclones, Mauritius has come a long way. The sugar industry now amounts to 1.6% of GDP compared to 35% of GDP decades ago. Manufacturing amounts to 18%, finance sector including offshore represents 20% of GDP and tourism 10%. Deputy Prime Minister's appointment at the Bureau of Tourism as Minister come in at a time where he brings valuable experience to the table, given his track record. Looking at his career and responsibilities in government, he has got what it takes to pull the heavy weights and add brand new success to the tourism industry. Xavier is a versatile leader. He is comfortable in working with anyone, working for the interest of the country and the tourism industry. He has the talent, the ability to carry the torch of the tourism industry and external communications productively towards transforming horizons. Mauritius is a place of political stability and low corruption. The Deputy Prime Minister has du pain sur la planche in working with the coalition government and his ministry, but in also opening the eyes of the world to Mauritius tourism. Heaven and earth, it is a pleasure to be there and also a serious place to do business.